This time on Rad Rat Comics, we're going to talk about the absolutely ridiculous story behind the Rainbow Batman. Welcome back to Rad Rat Comics. As I mentioned in the last video about the Batmobile of 1950, I have this book called Batman in the 50s, and it is just spectacular. I have loved every issue that's in it. I'm going to be sharing at least 4 of them with you. I haven't even finished the book because I get through one story and I'm like, I got to make a video on it. And this one is about the Rainbow Batman, which I'm sure you have seen before, but if you don't know what the story is behind it, you are in for a treat. And there is a story about the story too. So in the intro to the book, which is written by Michael Uslan, he was the executive producer on the movies at the time, or up until the 90s, or I don't know when he stopped, and he's also the instructor of a college course about comics. So he never worked on the Batman comics, but he knows a lot about them. And so one day he gets a call from Kenner Toys because they're trying to make this new line of Batman costumes that are different. And they call him in and like, man, we've got this huge problem. We came up with all these designs and we have all these different colors, but DC won't let us. Our contract says that we cannot publish a toy that was not a design from the movies or the comics. So we've done the all black, we've done gray and blue, we don't know what to do. And he's like, oh, I got you. And he shows him this issue. And he's like, man, if you need Batman dressed like a zebra, I can show you that too. And so he was able to save the day by proving that these costumes are canon, I guess. But let's take a look at this cover. But Batman, last night you wore the green costume, and tonight you're wearing the red. Why? I must, Robin. I wear a different colored Batman costume each night. Now, I guarantee that they made this cover first and just try to fit a story to it. You'll see why when we get into it, or when we get to the end, when they reveal what the reason was. It's nonsense, but it's going to be a fun ride. So let's do it. So the story starts with Dick Grayson, who is not in costume, and there's some thieves who are on the escape from a crime that they have committed, and they're about to hit this girl. Now, he does not have time to change into costume, but he saves her anyway. With perfect grace and timing, the boy wonder flashes into action, but you see he smashes his elbow against the light post there, and the news reporters show up to cover the crime and to cover his rescue. And this makes it on TV. So what they've stolen is a portable TV camera, and Batman and Robin are going to try to solve this crime. So they gear up, but of course, Dick Grayson's elbow is still damaged, so he's got to be very careful. Batman has a theory that the reason they stole a TV camera is because they're going to want to broadcast their crime, like to brag about it. So they're going to big events where TV cameras are going to be. I don't know if they're supposed to be actually broadcasting or just using the camera to like get into places they're not supposed to. It's not super clear. But so yeah, they have to go to this big parade for the King of Zeronia. So the next day, at the scene of a big ticker tape reception, look, there's Batman and Robin, but what's happened to Batman? I've never seen him looking like that before. He's wearing a red costume, but why? I'll check the TV cameraman in that car, Robin, while you watch every face for the crooks you saw. Hey, look at Batman, a red costume, and he's jumping into our car? Just to check your cameras, a safety precaution. Also, real quick, this is in 1956, so they're still driving the Batmobile of 1950. Where's the lab? There's no room. It's a 2-seater now. There used to be a whole lab in the back there. And during an official welcome, all eyes focus not on the guest, but on Batman. The thieves aren't anywhere in the crowd, Batman. And the TV cameramen here all have proper credentials, so this isn't where they plan to strike. When the welcome is over, we can leave. Afterward, why would Batman all of a sudden wear a red costume? He must have some reason, but I can't figure it. And later that day, when a familiar image flashes in the sky, the bat signal, police headquarters is calling Batman. Wonder if he'll wear the red costume again. The answer comes a few minutes later as the caped crime busters race to answer the urgent summons. With the special controls we fitted to the Batmobile, I can drive with my right hand alone. Why, Batman's wearing a blue costume now. So what has happened is a truck clearly marked explosives is on fire for some reason. Batman decides he's going to just drive the truck into the river and dives into the Batmobile at the last second, and that is able to save the day. But he's wearing blue the whole time. Later, as newspapermen throng around the new Batman, Batman, can you tell us why you switched to a red costume and now to a blue one? Yes, you've never done anything yet without a reason. Why these colored costumes? It could be I'm just tired of the same colored costume, but I'm not giving my reasons yet. I'm certain there's some big story behind these colored costumes, but I can't figure it out. Presently, back in the Batcave, I didn't see the camera thieves anywhere on the scene. Yet, I'm sure they wouldn't steal such a camera except to prepare a big crime. We'll keep covering every big event that TV crews cover. So the next event is a famous movie star, Marion Marley, who's going to land, and the TV crews are going to cover her landing. Gold-colored costume this time, it's a Dazzler. No wonder everybody's watching him instead of Marion Marley. You wore that costume deliberately, so everyone would look at you, not at me. I'm sorry, Miss Marley, I didn't mean to spoil your welcome. When the crowd disperses, Batman wearing those costumes just to attract attention? I can't believe it. Neither can I. He must have some more important purpose. Yet, that very same day, as the pair scouts a big jewel and fashion show, we merely want to protect the valuable gems you're showing here. But everyone is now watching your brilliant orange costume. Please leave. When they depart, none of the thieves was present here either, though there were TV cameramen all over the place. We've got to keep right on watching every event till you spot those robbers. The next event is a big ship launching, and Batman arrives in green. In his latest eye-catching garb, Batman reaches the launching platform just as I christen thee Gigantic. The ship's starting to slide down the ways. The cable below. Danger. Have to act fast. There's an axe of workmen left. I can still make it. Hey, what's Batman up to? Keen eyes glimpsed a hidden menace. That cable, concealed by litter until now, as the ship slides down it'll pull over the whole platform. An axe whirls and bites in the nick of time. Then, as a grateful crowd surrounds Batman, your prompt action saved us a bad accident, Batman. Who would do such a thing? We'll try to find that out next. Later, again, I checked every person here today and I didn't see any of the thieves we're after. But they'd been here and had fixed that hidden cable to get us. They must know, from the way we watch every event covered by TV cameramen, that we're after them. So they tried this sabotage to put us out of the way before they strike. It looks that way, and I don't like it. You're planning to cover the big sharpshooting contest in Gotham Stadium tomorrow. Suppose they strike at you there? It could be dangerous, all right, but we've got to look for them there too, and we'll take precautions. So Batman has determined that this rope being tied was on purpose, and it was done by the thieves who stole a camera. Like, it's a huge leap. There can only be one criminal in Gotham at any given time, right? That seems to be the case. So if somebody stole a camera and then somebody tied a rope and they're going to tow away the dock, then it must be the same guy, And there's no question when you actually read this that he's going to be right, Batman does not make any mistakes at this time period. He's always right. He always does the perfect thing. But let's take a look at this sharpshooting contest. So the next day, when the spectacular rifle sharpshooting contest gets underway, the greatest marksman in the world competing in front of the television cameras. Remember, Robin, your job is to identify those mobsters if they're here. A roar of surprise greets Batman's arrival. Look what he's wearing now. Batman, your target costume is rather staggering. Don't let me hold up the contest. We just came to look on. As the rifles of the contestants start blasting, still no sign of the thieves. If they're out to get Batman, this would be an ideal place. Suddenly, look out! A bullet's hit Batman! That was no accident. The bullet came from one of those roofs up there. But at that moment, to everyone's relief, it's all right. The bullet knocked me over but didn't hurt me. I'm wearing a steel vest under this costume. Maybe we can still nab the man who fired the shot. As the duo speeds from the stadium, "That's why I wore the target costume this time. Anyone trying a shot at me would aim at the bullseye, and my protective armor is beneath that. But it shows that those gangsters will stop at nothing." So they get up to the roof and they don't see them. Batman reminds Robin that he must wear these costumes no matter how dangerous it is. And then we cut to the actual thieves. And the mobsters, whose plot nears a climax, are equally puzzled by Batman. "The camera's all ready, and it'll get us $1 million. If Batman doesn't catch on to our scheme, he worries me with those queer costumes of his. Why is he wearing them?" "Beats me, and I don't care because he's only making our job easier. Wherever he shows up, he attracts every eye in the place. That's right, no one will be watching us when we pull our switch at the money show tomorrow." Next day, at the Fabulous Monies of the World exhibition, there'll be a big crowd when we open today. It's the biggest money exhibit ever put on. What will really draw people is that $1 million in cash. Everyone wants to see all that money in actual cash, and with these guards it'll be safe. Especially since Batman and Robin will also be here when we open. Wonder what color costume Batman will wear this time. Okay, now I've been to a lot of coin shows. I've been to one very recently. In fact, the National Money Show is what it was called. I've never seen them just put $1 million in cash. I've seen people bring gold bars worth $1 million, which is only like this much. Like it's pretty big, and it would be very heavy because gold's so dense. But like having a display that's just $1 million in cash, very strange. Like they could have had it be like stealing a really rare coin or something like that. But they chose not to do that, and a gold bar would make sense, or a bunch of gold coins would make sense. Although this was the 50s, so gold, it would have taken more gold to be $1 million in the 50s. But anyway, it's less than it would be cash. Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, just like, here's a display of $1 million cash. Okay, fine. But what color costume is Batman about to arrive in? Or what colors? To that question, there's more than one answer. A rainbow costume. I give up. I can't see why on earth he'd wear such things. Nobody can see why, but who cares, as long as he guards our exhibit. And also, I appreciate the attention to detail of all these guys being old. There's no one in a coin show that's under 70, except for me, usually. A little later, as TV newscasters arrive for the opening, every one of those cameramen is accredited. No sign of the thieves here. We'll go inside. Keep watching as the crowds enter. And finally, Robin's vigilance pays off. "Batman, there's one of them, no doubt about it. He's one of the thieves who stole the camera. He doesn't have the camera now, but I'll grab him anyhow." In an instant, Batman becomes a rainbow of dazzling action. "Whatever you've got in your pocket, pal, that's where it stays. But search of a captured thief discloses a gas mask. Is that all he was reaching for? Great Scott, don't you see, Robin? That's the answer to the whole mystery. Don't turn on your cameras. One of them is booby-trapped." After a speedy inspection, "I thought so. This one would have flooded the whole hall with tear gas when turned on. Then thieves with gas masks could have snatched that $1 million in spite of the guards. This altered camera must have been switched for mine during the confusion of setting up our equipment." Next instant, "There go 2 other crooks, Batman. I've got this one." "They'll find no pot of gold at the end of this rainbow, only prison." And so the police have taken the prisoners away. "Batman, your watchfulness prevented a crime again, but can you tell us now why you've been wearing all these colored costumes?" "No, I can't. This is the last one I'll wear, but why I did it must remain a secret." Later, as Bruce Wayne's loyal butler Alfred greets the duo, "I'm glad you caught the rascals, sir, but why did you have to wear such gaudy garments?" "You see, Alfred, Robin had to help me find those thieves, because only he had seen their faces and could identify them. But if anyone noticed that as Robin I couldn't use my left arm, they might remember the publicity about Dick Grayson's injury and suspect our identity. That's why I wore such colorful, eye-catching costumes, so everyone would look at me and not at Robin. And it worked. No one noticed me and my arm when all eyes were on Batman's bright costumes. But now that's over, I can quit being a peacock and become a Batman again." Isn't that just one of the best stories you've read it in comics? Like, it's absurd, and obviously they came up with the idea and tried to justify it, but they actually planted the seeds throughout the story. as I reread it for this, I noticed all the times people were saying like, all eyes are on Batman, or, you know, like people complaining that he's distracting everyone at their events because he's dressed so brightly. Because that's the point. He's trying to be bright and distract people from Robin and his injury. Like, it all makes sense in a way. There would have been different ways to do that. You know, like the Batmobile has a TV in it with a camera. If Batman had the camera out, then Dick could be watching it from the car and say, oh, that's the guy right there. You know, like, there's a million ways this could have been solved, but Batman decided to wear rainbow costumes. The one thing that I was impressed by this time, normally Batman is just right, and the story will make it look like he's wrong, and then at the end it'll be like, nope, I knew all along, and this is why. But he doesn't tell people. So, like, in the story, Batman is wrong, and he messes up, and all this kind of stuff, but it's always his greater plan to do that. But this time, Robin knew about it, which is a very small point in favor of the story. It makes sense that he would tell him, but he normally wouldn't, you know? But I love that. And I really want to get those toys now, but they're not that easy to find. So that is it for this time. I have got several more 1950s Batman stories coming up. It's been so much fun to go through these. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and I will see you then.